Chef Ana Garcia from La Villa Bonita Culinary Vacations in Tepoztlán, Morelos, Mexico. And today we're gonna make beans 101. So my sister, who's 27, always has these questions about things that I consider to be very simple. But it dawns on me that some people don't know how to do this because they don't have to, but now they're home and they have to do it. So we are gonna cook beans. How do we cook beans? Well, we start out with dry beans. They're right here. I usually store them in my jar. So I buy them from the mercado, but you can buy them in a bag. And I like black beans, but you can use pintos, you can use mirasol, you can use white beans, you can use any bean, and it's cooked exactly the same. So I usually do about 2 pounds at a time, which is around this, as much as I have here. And the first thing I do is I just go through them like this to make sure I don't have any stones. And I don't really care if I have broken ones. All I want to make sure is I don't have stones in here. And believe me, there is stones in there sometimes. Most of the time there's none, but the one time you find one stone and you break a tooth, it is not fun. So always go through them, make sure you don't have any stones, okay? So I'm gonna pretend like I've gone through all of them and I'm put them away because I already have some through the magic of TV. This is Chef Ana Garcia from La Villa Bonita Culinary Vacations. If you are looking for a quick and dirty recipe, you, my friend, have come to the wrong place. We are making a video a day during these turbulent times because of help from you in the form of future reservations, deposits, and donations. Your help is critical right now. When the economy suffers, we know that not everybody can chip in at the moment. If it's not easy, don't worry about it, just enjoy the show. But if you can help, La Villa Bonita needs your money now more than ever. Please go to lavillabonita.com for more information. As always, I'm grateful for your time and generosity. And remember, we will travel again. Let's plan your next trip with me to La Villa Bonita and let's get cooking. So after I have them like this all gone through, I cover this with water and I cover it completely. I don't like cover just the beans. I cover over the beans about 2 or 3 inches because these beans, while they soak, they're going to grow. So if you see the difference between these beans and these beans, they've grown a ton, right? And I used to think that soaking them was not necessary because quite frankly, they don't take that much more time to actually cook if you don't soak them. But I do find that they are creamier if I soak them and that I have less stomach problems if I soak them. Not that they really made me sick or anything like that, but I do notice that in some of my kids it does. So, and a friend of mine who's a nutritionist says that you have to get rid of that lecithin that the beans have inside of them, and that's why you want to soak them. So I'm gonna put them through, and you see the water is all black, and if they're pintos, the water gets red, and you know they just get the different colors. I'm just gonna rinse this, but that's just for a little bit. And I'm gonna put my beans. Yes, the kids are swimming and enjoying themselves. It's Saturday, so they're off from homeschooling. And I'm just gonna put the beans in my clay pot. You don't have to use a clay pot, but I like using a clay pot. The other thing I like about soaking them is that since I soak them, they're not gonna grow more. And I soaked them since 8 o'clock this morning, and right now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that was 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, so 6 hours ago. Math is not my strong suit. So I'm gonna just put them in here, and then I'm gonna take them to the stove. And like I said, I like to use my clay pot. These clay pots are made by a local clay maker Chayo Dorantes.
Pottery maker.
Sorry, pottery maker, yes. And she is in the state of Morelos, in a town nearby up to us, and we usually go with her with our guests. And the reason we go with her is because she makes lead-free pottery, which is super important to use instead of pottery that has lead on it. And make sure that if you're gonna use Mexican pottery, you make sure that they're lead-free, preferably by buying a lead kit and making sure that it does. So I'm gonna measure the water because I've never actually measured how much water I use for 2 pounds of beans. And I just wanna make sure that I give you a very exact recipe. My sister is an engineer and she likes exact recipes. So that's 1 liter, which would be 4 cups or 1 quart. And then I'm gonna do 2 quarts or 8 cups. And I'm gonna do 3 quarts. And into that, 3, so all the way to the top. So into that, I'm gonna add half an onion. And look, Rob, I'm gonna cut the onion right here. This is the end of the onion. I'm gonna cut it right here. And the reason I'm gonna cut it right here is I'm gonna stick the whole thing without chopping it at all. And I wanna be able to pull the onion out. And this part is what keeps the onion together. So I'm gonna stick it in here. And you can use half of one, or you can use just a quarter of it. You can use garlic if you want to in there too, but I usually just do onion, and we use something called epazote. My epazote is wrapped up in a piece of paper, and because since we are being very careful of how we handle our food, we usually are, but I usually don't wash my herbs until I'm gonna use them. And now since I'm bringing them, when I'm bringing them in, I'm washing everything before I put it in my fridge. And so I dried it up in my salad spinner, and then I put it in a plastic, in paper, and then in a Ziploc bag, and took all the air out and kept it in the refrigerator. And we've had this epazote for what, a couple of weeks? Yeah, probably 2 weeks, and it looks pretty good actually. I mean, a little bit of, dead ones here, but it's not bad. And I'm gonna stick this in here. And if you don't have epazote, don't freak out. You can use dry epazote, or if you don't have dry epazote, you don't put anything except for your onion and garlic, and you're perfectly fine. And so we're gonna let this come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, we're gonna put it on simmer. And then I'm gonna cook it, so it's 2 o'clock right now. I'm gonna cook it for a couple hours, and then we'll come back and check on it, and I'll show you. So you've also noticed I have not put salt on these, and I'm not gonna put salt on them until they're actually cooked. Otherwise your beans get tough. And the other thing that Rob wanted me to show you, which is a really good trick, is you put a spoon right here on top, and then you do not get foam and it all falls out. You do want to lower the flame when it starts boiling, okay? Otherwise it is going to, even with a spoon, it is gonna go all over the place. But this really helps, okay? So I'll see you in a little bit to show you how the beans turned out. The beans are ready. They're soft, and I can break them with my finger. And so all I have left to do is add some salt to it. And then we'll eat them later as frijoles de la olla.